of people's behaviors that we are not seeing it as a mental disorder, but we're finding lower scores, lower attention spans, and it's a shift in people having a cognitive ability to be able to do certain things as they should and be required to do.
And instead of most of us applauding technology and how great it is and et cetera, what we're saying here now is that it has some drawbacks, some negative impacts and whatever. Is that what we're talking about?
We're very much talking. And we know one of the aims of it was to make life better. We live in an American culture where we like efficiency, we like fast pace, we like everything. And so technology fits into a capitalistic type of culture that we are benefiting from by living in America, and it seems positive. But it is impacting us mentally at this point, and we are not understanding that mental incapacity that is causing our brain to the point that we can almost go to the point of saying it's a mental disorder for us to be so addicted to it that we cannot control it.
Now, is this a great sociological point of view now that most sociologists agree upon?
I would think most psychologists, social psychologists, and then neuro. I want to even bring it into the science. Neuropsychologists and neuroscientists that understand the brain are understanding the impact that it is actually having on our cognitive abilities. Now, let me just break down real quick cognitive ability. We've done it on the show before, but Piaget is one of the leading social psychologists that talks about the 4 different cognitive thinking stages of human development. So as I state them, I want us to see how technology presently is impacting that in a negative way. The first one is called the sensory motor stage.
Okay.
That means the 5 senses. And if you can think about a person that's aware of the senses and that you expose a child from 0 to 2 and from 2 to 7 of all the senses in a very positive way through social interaction. And that helps them to develop their cognitive ability according to Piaget. Presently with technology, we're putting the iPhone or a laptop or an iPad in front of them with certain images that are moving back and forth with no meaning, and that is impacting their cognitive abilities as well. So they are seeing it, they are motioning with it, they are having an interest in it, but they are missing out on the sound of a bird or the sound of other things that's around them in reality, or mom and dad being there talking with them and hearing that interaction. So that's why it has become so negative. Now, if you're just out in the real world and notice how many instances families got their children in strollers and they have an iPad on the stroller and that's entertaining them while they are shopping. But so they are missing out on seeing the different colors of cans, hearing the sounds of things that are being put in the baskets, hearing the cash register say ding, 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 and all of those things that we are supposed to be exposed to help with our cognitive development. That's the first stage. The second stage is called the pre-operational stage, where we can add, multiply, subtract, and divide. So by being around just with 2 apples and one is going and doing with these things as far as being able to see images and understand a red apple, a yellow apple, those types of images, or the Dr. Seuss books where you are reading and learning the cat in the hat and rhymes and rhythms. You can learn in this pre-operational stage. Now, in the next one, called the concrete operational stage, is where we're at a stage of 7 to 12 years old, and there you can add, multiply, subtract, and divide. Now, of course, I know listeners saying, well, you can use technology to do that, and you can, but we're talking about the overemphasis of just being addicted to it, where you are doing other things beyond learning your timetables or how to multiply, subtract, and divide, or to do those types of things, and that's cognitively impacting us negatively. Now, you can stay, and this is where use of a computer can make you stay from 7 to 11 to the rest of your life when you're addicted to technology. You become so addicted to it that you can't move into the next level that's called the formal operational stage, and that's from 12 years old, where you can think abstractly, where you can understand a theory and then apply that to something. You know about the consequences of cause and effect. You understand that if I defer my gratification in learning in school, I can do well on an SAT, then I can get into college, I can learn skills there, and then I can get a good job. That's what you're supposed to be at 12 years old for the rest of your life. But if you're stuck at the concrete operational stage in computers, that will satisfy the cognitive thinking, that you are satisfied with that, and you won't develop to be able to read a book and to retain what's in that book, or to have the interest in understanding, or discussing it with someone else, or writing an essay. That's at the formal cognitive developmental stage. So while we are not going through that formal stage, and that helps you to go to college and to read and to do well, we are not there. It has already pulled us away. And the upcoming kids that are just being born, or first, second, third grade, or the newborns, the first year, second, third year, they are becoming so addicted to it that they are wanting it and will cry to have it. And now it's moving us into the point of being so addicted to it that people are becoming lonely, this anomadic type of state. And they are feeling that they are meeting others through cyberspace and through the computer of others that are feeling lonely. And as a result of that, there's a shift in communication. So when you say, oh, are you communicating? Yes, but with people on the internet,
that's right,
or within cyberspace, and they are not having the human contact or touching and feeling and verbal communication, very similar to what we are doing right now. That's being lost. And some people, we have seen the statistics go up in suicide rates because people are being convinced that they are in touch while they are really lonely, and they are meeting others that are speaking through computers in the same way, and then they are committing suicide. While the mothers and fathers and friends will not even recognize that shift in behavior, because they are one way and they have an online type of place where they go to speak about this other aspect of their personality that is feeling lonely, and is not recognizable by families and peers and friends.
And
so
when
the suicide rates are
something
going
bad
up.
happens in reference to that,
Yes.
the family didn't know. Nobody had any idea, and et cetera. Is that what we're saying?
Absolutely. That's exactly.
Well,
and they're becoming so addicted to it, they're staying up late at night, losing rest. Yes.
We've got about a minute and a half.
Okay.
What
So-
would you suggest that we do in terms of breaking that cycle?
Well, great. This has been a great program to really, first and foremost, to understand that it is indeed a problem. You have to understand there's a reoccurring pattern of problem. The second, now, you have to regulate it. You have to use it in a positive way, give some time for fun, but then it has to be regulated as far as how much time is used on the cell phones. If universities could have an app to allow a break with it for an hour, and off of it, if they don't use it in a smart way, the students will be much better off by reading the newspaper or listening to news on it and using it in a positive way. So families must regulate it. We must understand it. And hopefully in religious institutions will understand the problem too, so we can change some behaviors and understand the shift and how it's mentally negatively impacting